Okay, hi.
Hi, this is Sarah here. We are going to review with my mentor, whoever she is, the lesson for standards 1, 2, and 3, which the video is on the platform, and now we're going to review the rubric.
Good.
Go.
So I thought this was an outstanding math lesson. All the kids were very engaged. So it takes us right to the first question. Do you use knowledge about the student's growth and development to design your lesson? And the lesson was definitely appropriate for them. You could tell because they were very engaged, and at the same time there was some level of challenge. They were excited about trying to figure out how to solve the problems, and no one really seemed too frustrated. There were a couple of students who we'll get to that you had to work with at the end that were maybe a little more challenged than the others, so I felt like it was within the zone of proximal development. And so then the next one, did you meet their individual learning needs? I definitely love how you use the submarine example to provide the visual modality for the learners, to pair it with your auditory, because you give a lot of verbal direction, which is excellent for the auditory learners, but the visual image was great. Also, it helped them to conceptually understand, as I'm sure this is why you did it, the more negative.
Right.
Negative plus
going
more
further
negative,
down under the ocean.
going down under the ocean.
And the bird flew higher into the sky.
Right, and so you can keep, for them to pair that visual, they can conceptually keep understanding why it gets more negative even when you add, right? So I loved that image that you created for them, and they were successful with that. Okay, next. Do you have a positive classroom climate? Absolutely. The kids were laughing. They were, everybody was smiling. They're working together well. Just as the group, you can tell that you have a nice relationship with them. You give constant positive feedback, and telling them they're perfect, they're doing fine, that's great, and encouraging them to move on. And these are kids who've struggled in math for a long time, so to have that constant positive feedback is really necessary. Students with learning differences, all of the students have learning differences, so I love some of the modifications that you gave by having them just do odds or evens, that some needed the number line, and then at the end you did notice that 2 students were still struggling, so you were able to find time to work one-on-one with them in a way that they felt comfortable. And again, just the learning differences, just all of the different kinesthetic, the movement and the visual and the auditory was all excellent. Finally, what's the first one? The last one.
The classroom environment.
Classroom environment. So, okay. So, I mean, to me, it definitely felt like it was a safe environment for them to learn. There definitely was an openness and mutual respect, and that was apparent. I know that you're in touch with the families as well. And what else? I think that they feel safe by understanding the expectations and structure of the classroom. You have the jobs and the rules and the expectations posted. I think that that's very helpful for them. And I think that they felt comfortable advocating for themselves. They always know when they need more, and they don't mind asking for your help. I think that the structure of, even moving to the last one, the learning environment, where they know where the materials are, their binders, they know that they can, where the books are, they know the routine of the class, that you start with the do now, and then there was the lesson, and then there was the independent practice. So I think that that's all very helpful for them. You redirect when you need to in an appropriate way. Good. Okay, and then one more thing. So just teaching points, or just ways that we stretches where we can always think about other ways to be successful and have the students be successful is now. And maybe this is not something you would have done necessarily this day, but for the next lesson, I think that now that they have enough background knowledge about the concept, that you can now, maybe you can pair them together and they can start to share with each other and to be able to verbalize their thinking. Metacognition.
Got it.
While they're learning.
Perfect.
Good.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye.